Bonjour! Are French women really slimmer, and how do we do it? Being myself slim, I have always personified the stereotype of the slim French woman when I'm abroad, since I rarely get overweight. Stereotype is somehow based on reality, right? Even though I believe it can sometimes be wrong. But I assure you, French people do get fat. But less than other countries, even in our modern days, and I will tell you why. If you are interested to know more about the back scene of a French woman diet, I tell you my eating habits in this video. Let's just keep in mind that what really matters is to be healthy and that beauty exists in all shapes of bodies. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. For the ones that don't know me yet, I'm Giga, a French SEAL expat. I've lived in 7 different countries. I also share French insider tips on my blog Expat in France about French admin and French culture. Right, let's start. Are French women really slimmer and why? First, I'll disappoint you. Wrong. French women are not that slim. Even though France is under the OECD overweight average, it is far from being the country with less overweight, also including obesity. It is only ranked 26th with 49% of people with overweight out of 36 countries. As you can see, Chile is sadly ranking in the first place in 2017 for overweight and Japan the last place. By the way, you can see that Swiss or Italian are slimmer than the French. But what is definitely true is that French women have different eating habits that still explain why we are slim as an overall. And I'll share with you now the 3 main reasons why. First, food education. Good eating habits is part of the French education. Ne mange pas entre les repas. Don't eat between meals. Tu te resserviras quand tu auras fini ton assiette. You'll have more when you finish your plate. These are common phrases I've heard as a child, as many other French kids did. How French people eat is taught from a very young age and for generations. Learning to eat everything, to wait for the next meal, and to eat healthy products was the way I was brought up, as many of my French friends too. So the French diets may seem restrictive or strict to you, but it is normal to me because it is what I grew up with. And more importantly, my parents insisted on respecting the food I'm being served. So for me, it is normal not to drink soda with my food as I feel that it covers its taste. I would have it only at the apéro sometimes. And also not to snack between meals. Also, the chocolate bar is only for kids' birthday parties or to have a calorie boost during a hike. My mom and my grandma are both good cooks. Let me correct that. My mom and one of my grandma are good cooks. The other one was a disaster and a professional tin opener. May she rest in peace. I still love you, Mommy. So I never had processed food meals at home, except when my dad was cooking. He took it from his mom, I guess. Thankfully, my brothers and I took it more from my mom. And I never liked my dad's food anyway. It was either tasteless or burnt, even if it was just about heating up a frozen pizza. The second reason why French women are slimmer, we value quality over quantity. Yes, we are what we eat. As I said before, you will find every shape of bodies here and beauty is everywhere. But French people give, in my opinion, much more importance to quality than quantity. When I was a teenager, I spent 3 months in Ontario, Canada, in a host family. I was shocked when I saw the portions people were serving me at the restaurant in Canada. The portion for one was actually for 2 human beings. No doubt the doggy bag is necessary. For me, that was crazy, when I thought that my parents taught me to have a first reasonable portion and go for more once I finish my plate. And also that there is cheese and dessert to keep space for, which I always did because I love cheese. I think that portions are enough in France and it is not only about feeding yourself but mainly about appreciating the food. And if I'm still hungry after the main course, There are always the options to have cheese and dessert. Has it happened to you a lot to be hungry after eating at the restaurant in France? Or maybe you skipped the cheese? Now, let's talk a bit about quality. When I say quality products, I mean fresh fruits and veggies. I try to go to the local market as much as I can. I rarely buy them at the supermarket, and even less the pre-cut and packed ones that have no taste. I actually realized that these are much more common in the Parisian supermarkets than the rest of France. So I guess this is a way for the busy Parisians to keep a healthier diet. Then the third reason why French women are slimmer, and in my opinion, an essential one. French food is a way of life. When I was in Canada as a teenager, I discovered a whole new approach to food. I apologize in advance to the North Americans watching this video and to my friends in Canada and the USA, but I just didn't like the local foods there. With an exception for pancake with crispy bacon and the pumpkin pie. Having a meal there during weekdays was more about feeling a physical need and often eating at separate times in front of a screen, but not really sitting down all together as we were doing daily in my family. This family dinner I had daily in France was mainly a weekend thing in Canada. And I can tell you, my mom was no desperate housewife spending hours cooking a homemade meal. It was all about finding easy, healthy recipes for a family of 5 to cook after a long day of work. Let me tell you something that may seem unbelievable for some of you. In my entire childhood, the only times I had dinner in front of the TV with my parents was on election night or the football cup. Sitting down at the table together is the norm in my family, and from what I can see in many other French families. I would say not all, but the majority. Taking the time to appreciate the food, but also to chew, digest, and relax is essential, and good for the figure too. Food on the go, eating while walking is for me a pain, and only when I have no other choice. I'd rather find a bench, sit for 10 minutes to have a quick sandwich than eating on the public transport or worse, while I'm walking. Food and socializing for me go together on a daily basis. Of course, if you live on your own, the socializing part doesn't apply, but all the rest does. If you live in France, have you embraced some of these habits? Or maybe you already had them? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to know. I hope this answered to your question, why French women are slimmer. If it did, please give this video a like to encourage me and subscribe to the channel for more French insider tips. Thank you for watching. Merci et à bientôt!